Hello. Welcome at the studio, Dr. Aldila.
Thank you.
So today we are talking about achieve on your next destination station. We've just arrived there. Let's kick this off.
Embark number 1, achieve. What does it mean to achieve? Successfully bring about or reach a desired object, result, or goal by effort, skill, or courage. He achieved his ambition to become a successful whatever. So, number 1 is all about brain health. Brain health, brain wellness, understanding the brain. So there's a lot of viewers that are going to ask me, what is Achieve about? Achieve is when you have a neurodiverse brain, when you have a child with ADHD. And now we are entering interesting waters. Should I medicate my child? Should I not medicate my child? What is ADHD? So why did I develop Embark number 1, Achieve? I developed it mainly for myself because I wear my badge very proud. I'm an ADHD, Ritalin monster, as they call me, and I choose not to medicate. Now, I am the bridge, or I see myself as the bridge between the two worlds of modern medicine and the holistic approach. And I love to empower everyone by saying, do your research, come to me, and whatever you choose, whatever I then bring to the table will enhance and benefit whatever you choose. So I have patients and parents who come to me who medicate themselves, their brains and their children's brains. It's not about judgment. It's about how can Embark assist you in living a life of more potency and ease. So it's brain wellness, it's ADHD, it's hyperactivity, it's perfectionism disorder, it's striving for excellence. It's sometimes feeling that my brain has got 20 televisions on at the same time, and the overwhelm is causing me to lose my spoons. So I want to teach the viewers and you today about the spoon analogy. Because if I can understand my brain and I can understand advance and Embark number 1 and achievement, and Aldila did this for all the Ritalin monsters, and she did it for the ADHD people, and she did it for people who have had brain injury, and I did it for people who have had strokes, different strokes for different folks. How do I understand, achieve? How do I advance through this? And how do I strengthen my brain, my neuroplasticity, to start living a life where my clutch slips slower, and my clutch doesn't explode or implode all the time, and I understand how to regulate myself so that my physical body can become healthier as well.
I don't want to run away with this, but this has also got to do how to deal with stress and all that, how that
Yes.
affects. And I never knew your brain is the start of all of this. It's
Yes.
not necessarily a physical being.
And what has been now proven scientifically is the brain is where everything cognitively happens, but the body is where it's felt. The brain doesn't feel. The brain experiences and the body feels. And that is why 90% of illness has been proven to be caused by stressful situations. Not only trauma and shock, but constant stress.
You've managed to simplify for me the understanding of what trauma does to me and how it affects my brain, and the brain affects the body.
Correct.
And I was just hoping maybe you can just share that little PowerPoint that we went through the other day. If Peter can get it for us up on the screen there. So what I understand is correctly, just help me by reading your book, that script of Embark. So am I correct in saying, so you've got a reptilian, a limbic, and a neocortex brain, and that brain shifts in priority, what actually takes action?
Yes. So if we go back to basics, I have a PhD in alternative medicine, and I'm a qualified aromatherapist and a trauma therapist. So I'm not going to give a viewer or a patient a whole breakdown of how the brain works. I try and keep it simple so that you can understand how you are wired, and then you can help your children. Back to basics. So you will always see that in Embark, I will always refer to, Francois, let's go back to basics. Let's go to the tribal. So, in the ancient times, in the Oertijd, give me a name of the time of the tribes. If you think of the caveman, that brain was wired to do what?
To hunt.
Yes, to survive, to provide. You are 100% right, to hunt. So the brain has not changed in thousands of years. Society has changed, but the brain and the nervous system stays the same. So ultimately, there's a caveman sitting in front of me. There's a cave woman sitting in front of you. And if we can just teach that to everyone today, it's going to make such a difference in the way we handle ourselves and we handle the people around us. The minute the body and the brain starts experiencing threat, in form of stress, in form of danger, in form of trauma, the red part of the brain switches on. Now, if you look at the picture, there's 3 colors that I'm using. So I call it the traffic light concept. I call it the Aldila TLC concept, the traffic light concept, because red is the red robot at the traffic light, orange is slow, and green means go. So red means no, orange means slow, and green means go. So the green part of the brain is the frontal lobes. That is your logical thinking. That is what it's saying logically. I know it's going to be okay, but my body is behaving in a certain way. So the brain has no feelings, Francois. The orange part is the emotional brain. And that is the part that is the limbic system, and it runs to your body and it gives you a bodily reaction. So I'm having an experience in my green brain that has been switched on by my red brain. So the red brain says, I'm a caveman, I must hunt, I must defend myself. Ek is in die oertyd. That red brain then affects the green brain, and the green brain affects the orange brain, and the orange brain then locks in my body. Where does anxiety sit?
What do you mean?
If you feel anxious, where do you feel anxious? In your brain?
In my body.
Good.
Okay.
Where does fear sit?
Yeah, my body.
Well done.
Yeah.
So to perform, to achieve, your temper, your clutch, where does it sit?
Next to the brakes.
You feel it in your body with shaking and your heart beats faster. So it's important that we all understand the TLC concept. So if I want to advance, if I want to achieve, if I want to embark from station number 1, I need to understand the importance of brain wellness. And how do I preserve my brain, and how do I feed my brain, and how do I boost my brain, and how do I regulate my brain? So now a mother will come and say, my child has ADHD, I don't want to medicate. Or a mother will come to me and say, I have a neurodiverse child, or I have a husband that's got autism, or that's got a stroke, that had a stroke. Aldila, what must I do? This and this and this and this is the options that the medical part gave me. What do you think? My job is to integrate. My job as a holistic professional is to say, how can we make everything work with more ease?
Mm-hmm. So what I've experienced is I've obviously went through some experiences in my life, and I've been hijacked 4 times. That's been, and there's a lot of thinking going through my mind a lot about this incident. So trauma counseling was quite efficient in terms of accepting what happened, and also I'm trying to, these guys won't just do it because they have to, want to. It's a have to do thing. The point is the effect on me is hate, fear, all these things, and I this came through into my relationships and in my management style, that I've had a sense of people are scared of my body language. I come across as very aggressive, and I must say, in the last 2-3 months after I did that therapy at your center, that has changed. And thanks for that. I actually want to congratulate you. I never thought that's going to be a thing, and it became a thing. We've done some personality testing, and strength and weakness testing in our company. And one of my derailers was outbursts. And that's been a thing that came through all the questionnaires that the staff pretty much handled. A lot of our flows were blocked by anger. And that pretty much boiled down to knowingly that my reptilian brain was active at that as a priority response. So I know, I was prescribed some medicine before, and I've used that composure. I don't know which one is
Number
that.
7,
Number
well
7.
done.
So that has had a humongous impact. We've got a little boy as well. So, being irritated going home, my son started getting the effects of my day. And
It's
and
amazing awareness you've got there.
yeah, so I've realized, this is, I'm going to have to really try and calm myself down to try and perceive what happens at my home. So, I must say, this is not a marketing thing. I'm actually just saying thanks to you, because it's changed my life. It changed my...
Would you allow me to explain to you why we lose our clutch? Why our clutch cable snaps? You called it something else now. No, what did you call it when you explode?
Or implode, yeah.
Yeah, but you called it something else as well. So we call it when I have a meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
So when you lose it, no? Like when you lose...
Ek strip my moer.
when you lose your shit.
Mm.
Okay, so I want to empower everyone this morning, and I want to explain to you why you lose it, why you get a meltdown. So that if we can understand where it comes from, we're going to be able to manage it.
Kan jy dit hoor, Pieter? Kan jy
Dis
dit
die
hoor?
yskas, John. Dis die yskas.
Ja, is buite.
Die yskas hier oor.
Ja, hy werkie.
Hy's aan.
Nee, is die fan buite. Is buitekant.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Kan ek gaan?
Ja, okay.
Jy het 'n fantastiese woord nou gebruik. Nou net, jy het gesê what causes me to... Hulle het gesê jy's baie volatile.
No, well,
What's a word? What
so-
word
so-
did
so-
you use?
So, psychometrically, I am overwhelmed. I'm in my
That's the one.
responsive brain or
Responsive, great. So, overwhelm, frustration leads to a consternation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I want to explain something to you, and it's called the spoon analogy, and this was taught to me by one of my colleagues. So, I wish I thought this out, but I didn't. So, in the Bible, there's a story about 5 clever girls and 5 not so clever girls.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about putting oil in their lamps, die olie en die lampie story. And 5 of them had oil in their lamps and 5 didn't. So I explain overwhelm, journey number 1 of Embark, advance and achieve, like the oil in the lamp story. So every morning when you wake up, you are supposed to wake up feeling refreshed, having oil in your lamp, which was given to you the previous night through what is called your glymphatic system, whereas your brain flushes and takes the amount of a blikkie Coke, 350 ml of spinal fluid, flushes it through your brain and reboots your brain that night in order for you to wake up feeling ready. My lamp is full and I'm ready to seize the day. Now, if you did not have a good night's sleep, if you played with your phone the whole night, if you watched TV the whole night, if you didn't prepare at least an hour before going to bed, taking your sleep time in your bedtime and your bedroom as a sacred space, you are not preparing your brain for a good night's sleep, and you are going to wake up with insufficient amount of oil in your lamp. Now, the way I explain it, and I love to explain it like this, is the spoon analogy. So, I hope I'm not going to make a noise, but I'm going to pick up these spoons that I've packed. So, every day, every morning, you wake up with a certain amount of spoons depending on your personality, your profile type, the level of your self-care, and the quality of your sleep. So if I wake up in the morning and this is the only amount of spoons I have available for that day, and the first thing that happens when I wake up is pop up, pop up, pop up, 2 spoons. The second thing that happens when I wake up is I have to finish myself. Then the clients start phoning, the people start phoning, my mother phones, the electricity is not working, 4 spoons. By the time I get to work, this is what I have left for the rest of the day. My clients are complaining, my staff is late, they're not cleaning the studio as they were supposed to. My host is, my guest on the show is quite something to cope with. By 12 o'clock, I've got no more spoons left. What does the brain do? The red light switches on and go. We are in danger. The orange part of the brain goes, ek kan nie meer nie kopper al my onderbroek skaaf. The green part just leaves the building. And all that happens is explosion or implosion and complete overwhelm. Now they can give you pills till Pete comes home. A pill is a 30% integration. You've got to do self-care, make different choices, and do self-awareness and inner work. And every person is different, Francois, and every brain is different. And what will work for you and replenish your spoons and what will replenish my spoons is 2 different things.
So tell me if it gets to our children. I'm quite against the ADH movement nowadays. In the old days, it was just a busy child. We had space, man. You wouldn't even document that as somebody with a problem because our kids were not locked up in a 2x2 room with a 2x1 meter kitchen and a 3x2 meter flipping bedroom. So no wonder people are irritated. We don't have sporting facilities and all that stuff anymore like we used to. So the best treatment we always can do is say, my kid has a problem, give him medicine. What can we do alternatively? Do you have a alternative medicine for that, just to calm kids down and not have the long-term effects? What's this?
That is your ADHD neurodiverse Embark in a bottle that you can either let your child inhale through the olfactory system.
So let's stop right there. So for the Embarkies, I've been trained. I am informed. So let me take you on a quick introduction. Not your right hand, your left hand, because there's nerves connected to your brain right here, which absorbs. What happens here? Just give us a...
The skin is the biggest organ. The skin absorbs anything you put on it. It's immediately going to go into your bloodstream. You are now connecting to your elixir.
So inside your brain, you've got the actual gland that was responsible for observing all this nutritions and stuff that not nutrition, what is it called?
Well,
Minerals.
I'm so proud sitting here. The olfactory system. So
Yes.
Look what he's doing. So first of all, he's connecting with his oil, and the palms have a lot of skin cells. So he's connecting with his elixir, and it's already going into the bloodstream. And now you are going to do your inhalation technique, which means the olfactory system is going to be accessed.
So by closing your eyes, you transport that materials or chemical, whatever that might be.
By smelling with my eyes closed, I am telling the red brain everything is okay, and I'm accessing my vagus nerve, and I'm going into a space of CTFD. I am replenishing my spoons. I am putting Willie in my lamp.
So I want to know the practical, what is the facts. So I'm inhaling this, what do I call it? It's minerals,
I
whatever.
call this an aromatherapy elixir. So it's a blend.
So you started using aromatherapy as a strategy to calm down, not medicine.
No.
So that's why you use the oils.
Yes, because I'm not a doctor in medicine. I am a doctor in holistic approaches and aromatherapy.
Okay, so now what happens is by me closing my eyes, I'm telling my...
Yes.
What is that gland? The
You are telling your red brain by closing your eyes
Yeah.
to switch off, and you are accessing the olfactory, the olifant, the smelling center of the brain to start taking what you are inhaling and bringing it into the brain.
So, but if I kept my eyes open, it will deliver it in a different
Yes,
space.
it will go to the front of the
Yes.
brain, because if I look at you, my greens, nice.
Glad to do it.
Well done. That
Yes,
was
sir.
good. That was good. Okay, so you now have smelled a lot of the Embarks. Isn't this one different? Isn't this one amazing? So immediately I've blended it in such a way that it brings your brain into the present moment. Here and now, Pitty, we must concentrate now. We must focus now. Huiswerkies, no. Help my no, mama. It's a completely different smell. It's potent. It's powerful. It brings clarity to the mind, and it brings the brain into the present moment.
Can you overdose from this?
No, I wish.
Oh.
I wish. I've tried.
Okay.
Here I sit.
Okay.
Well
That's
done to you for doing your
I-
protocols so nicely.
So for the viewers that doesn't know, the reason we started this Embark podcast, we decided to sponsor Dr. Aldila with this approach of remedies, purely because it worked. I've been very skeptical. I think when we listen to your social media environments, you come across as a comedian, but you're actually very serious about your work, and you're actually very specific onto your protocols. And I mean, your factory is absolutely amazingly clean and organized. It's actually, you are very specific. Let's call it that. So I realize there's something deeper here, and that's why we've started this podcast range, and we want to support you in this journey. I think there's a lot to learn for people,
Yes.
and because it's so use it, don't use it. I when the penny dropped for me was, we always want something that works now, and I've learned incremental changes has got a bigger effect on the long term than one big dose that's gonna damage you for the rest of your life. And about my cortisol problem, and I think the camera will pretty much be the witness of what's
But
going
we're
on.
working on it.
Sure. So I've done your castor oil treatment for my hernia and my actual stomach issues, and I think everybody has noticed my stomach shrinked
We're working on
because
it.
of the cortisol levels going down, because of my reptilian brain going down. And that
red
had a
brain.
huge effect on my kidneys. I actually have a blood result, which I've done, and I'm happy to disclose that very soon. And then we'll do a blood test in 6 months' time, and let's see what is living proof.
You see, this is today's illness. Instant gratification. Now. Now. And that's why Embark number 1 is so powerful, because what is Embark number 1 about? It's about achievement. It's about advancement. It's about brain wellness, but it's also about understanding the ADHD brain. So the ADHD brain, and I'm sorry, Francie, you and I have both got ADHD.
What is ADHD?
ADHD is called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. But can I explain it to you in my terms? It's a Ferrari brain with bicycle brakes.
Why is it so bad?
It's not bad. It's one of the greatest gifts that you can have. The other name is for ADHD, besides it's a Ferrari brain with bicycle brakes, it is a highly creative brain. It is a brain that can function on 20 television channels at once, and they're all on full blast. And if you do not know how to handle that brain, if you don't know how to replenish that spoons, if you don't know how to put the oil in the lamp, that brain very easily gets overwhelmed. Then the clutch goes, and then the people around us suffer. So you said something very powerful now. You said you have a son, he's 2, he's busy. This weekend, I attended my son's school. There was a Professor Lamb, and I can say his name, and the viewers can really go and Google him. He spoke to us about neurodiversity and the neurodiverse brain. And he said something so powerful that I really want to share. He said, life is all about instant gratification. Everything should be easy. Everything should be quick. Everything should be a quick fix. And he used the following words, and I want to just share these words because I think you'll enjoy it. He said, a brain that learns without movement is a dead brain. He said a brain needs movement, a brain needs eye movement, head movement, shoulder movement, and learning can only take place through play and movement. And then he used words like it should be hard, it should be slow, it should be cognitive, it should be eventful, there should be thought. So a pill can be taken if you can feel the contribution. So for me, there's no judgment with regards to anything anyone does, as long as you can say to me, you know, Aldi, when I take this pill, it's a contribution. I'm a better person. The person around me suffer less. I don't have negative effects in my body. But you need to ask yourself the question every time, and this is what I tell parents. If you choose to medicate, can you see the difference? Can you see a positive contribution? If you try to medicate or you don't medicate and you try the holistic route, can you see the difference in a contribution? So you and I have got ADHD brains. So one of the most difficult things that we're going through now is not interrupting one another. Because as I'm talking to you, your highly creative brain has already got 20 questions to ask me, and you just want to partake because you're so excited. And now everybody thinks we with ADHD brains, we are ongeskik. Ons kan nie ons beurt afwag nie. We can't wait our turn. We blabber something out. We have no filter. But it's that intelligent brain that's so creative that just wants to get everything done at once. And the people around us cannot understand the Ferrari brain with a bicycle brake. So if you use your Embark number 1 on a regular basis, you will calm that brain into clarity, less impulsivity, and you'll replace the bicycle brains with ABS.
I must say, I've been studying a lot of this environments, frequencies. Why do I get this harmonious times when I'm at the coast? I absolutely have the best time creating, writing, strategizing, planning is when I'm in that space of, I don't know if it's something that happened when I was younger, and then, you're gonna, already subconsciously you're going to relax. But there's something about the ocean, all that stuff that I've learned that actually get your beta way, all that stuff, that's a rabbit hole on its own. I don't want to go there now. But I've learned also blue light, that affects your brain at night. You should go red for your kid, especially with my child. My child doesn't sleep. Now, I've put LEDs on the bottom, on the floor at night so that it's not dark. He can see, feel safe, all that, because it's comfortable for me. But then we realized that's why he kept on waking up. We've changed the light to red. One of our friends told us about this, and we've done it, and it worked. Red light had an effect on my child's sleep. Yes. That's when I realized, because I document all these things. I write it down. So that's how I discovered, but this is an effective method of getting a child to sleep, the red light. So it worked.
And it's a contribution.
Yeah.
And the ocean replenishes your spoons. And people not interrupting the ADHD brain will help us to keep our spoons for longer. So constant interruption, constant disorganization, constant failure to prep, constant failure to plan, no methodical, systematic, continuous, what's the word that I always tell parents? Routine, consistency. A lack of all of those things eat the spoons of the ADHD brain. And by the time your spoons are finished, how can you be calm and strategize and have creativity?
And efficient. Yeah, no, it's definitely.
So it all comes back to, what do I need to do to have enough spoons to get me through the day?
So this Embark thing has gotten deeper as what I thought. Like, I'm more a factual guy. I like facts, and I've realized when it comes to the psychology world, it's more a journey, it's experience, and there's so much disconnect at the moment because of philosophy and faith belief systems and all of that gets into play. And I purely don't trust psychologists anymore, and I don't. Okay, purely because of the faith or belief systems that they apply to all these worldly ways of thinking. So, and then your products also came along when I discovered you use oils to fix cancer, and I don't know what else. And so it started feeling like a witch doctor environment. Like people use witch doctors, and I just never knew that there's data behind this stuff,
Yes.
cause and effect. And like I said, this is a much safer way for me. And let's move on to something I wanted to know: autism and ADHD. How does that go hand in hand? Your son has autism, I believe.
He does. He has been diagnosed with what is called a high functioning autism. So for those who watch The Big Bang Theory with Sheldon Cooper, he lives with me in my home every day.
Yeah.
And he's almost 12 years old. And I do not see autism or ADHD or any other neurodiverse, and we'll get some experts on the panel when we do number 15, which is called Neura. So then we're really diving into the world of neurodiversity. It's called neurodiversity. It means your brain is diverse. You are diverse. And it's not a curse, and it's not something to be ashamed of. It's a gift if you know how to use it. That is what it is. So for me, I've developed number one to help parents who need to get their kids to study, to focus, who needs to put brain health first, who needs to prioritize brain wellness. Someone like you and me that choose to not medicate, we can now opt for the more holistic approach, and we can integrate with all of the self-care to put more spoons. Francois, if you and I do not sleep, we become pet shop snakes. Do you know a pet shop snake?
Tell me.
It's not a friendly ook. So I have learned to train my staff to understand my brain. I have learned to live my life in such a way that my spoons remain replenished. For if I lose my spoons, for if I do not sleep, for if the pet shop snake starts to emerge, sy pik almal. And we don't want that. So we need to take responsibility for our brain wellness and for our health, because what is it that we're actually trying to do here, Francois? We want to live a life of wellness and empowerment, and we don't want Alzheimer's. We don't want a stroke, because that old age, undignified, debilitating last years of your life is something that we have to try to prevent. And it's like you were now talking about your tummy. You have a cortisol tummy. So it took you a few years to get your cortisol tummy. And when we talk about journey number 8 and 22, we'll discuss that. But what did I say? I said, we are working on it. We are on a journey. Embark is a journey. Wellness is a journey. It's not a race. It's a constant daily commitment to you.
No, I think that wraps it up for achievement. I think we've got a very good introduction. Your book is still not available. So at the moment, if you want to be part of this journey, you've got a Telegram group.
Yeah, you just go aldila.co.za, you buy your train ticket, and you get on this beautiful membership, and all of these trains are available at your fingertips. The PhD takes time because it has to be thorough. For me, all I want us to understand today is there are options, and I can make empowered choices and live a life of more ease when I integrate the concept of wellness by dedicating my daily self-care to myself and understanding I have a brain, some of us. That is how it works, and this is how I can look after my brain.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. And next week, we're going to talk about station number 2. And if you guys would like, if you want to be part of this, we're going to pretty much follow Dr. Aldila's journey on writing the Embark platform. We're gonna pretty much, if you haven't been introduced to the concept, so pretty much there is 31 train stations that we're gonna visit virtually, and we're gonna discuss at each train station certain effects of stress and trauma and how we can overcome it. And the end goal is pretty much to have a better version of yourself by train number 31. And we've discovered there's going to be a number 32, most probably, hopefully. So if you would like, it will really help us if you can subscribe to this podcast, share it with your friends. We are not generating any income from this. This is purely information based. And thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you, Dr. Aldila.